everyone. I've tied it up over my shoulder. It's looking slightly better. Not perfect by any means, but slightly better. And I spent a little bit of time yesterday with my husband and my daughter. Um, my daughter goes swimming on a Wednesday evening, and she loves doing that. So my hubby takes her. I have problems with the water in the pool, so I'm a bit allergic to that water, so I can't go in. But I sat on the side and I decided to just do a page in my sketchbook that was purely mark making examples. And from that, today, I'm going to make, let's call it a mark making quilt in my, with paint as the base layer, if you like. So let me just move down below so that you can see. This was the mark making that I did in my avocado and spice sketchbook, whilst I was just sat making sure that everyone was safe. I went there for safety reasons more than anything else, really, in case anything happened to my husband. Because, I mean, you just never know, do you? If he was there on his own with my daughter, and he accidentally slipped and hurt himself, then she probably wouldn't be able to do anything to help. Those of you that don't know, my daughter has autism and learning difficulties. So she's grown up now, she's 30, but she wouldn't know what to do. So I sat there quite happily doing my mark making. And what did I then do? I then did like a little landscape with some mark making as well. So yeah, I'm going to use my mark making examples, which sadly I can't keep on screen because I need to have this big. Let's just try and move everything a bit so as I can get my notepad kind of on there as well. There we go. So I've got a big A3 sheet of paper, and I divided it up into 5 squares one way, 7 squares the other. So I've got 35 squares to play with. But I'm going to put some watercolor down first, and I'm going to be using my Michael Harding paints, which you can see here. And I think today I'm going to start with some lavender. So, you know, this is going to be an abstract because it is just squares. I'm then going to do the mark making over the top of. So that is lovely lavender. What shall we have next? I mean, this is just such fun, isn't it? Maybe we'll go across more kind of diagonally with some blues. So I've got ultramarine next. And because I want the squares to dry, I'm not going to do them next to each other straight away. So I think this will be a lovely quilt of my Michael Harding paints, and it will be a record of all the mark making that I can do. And I might put it up on the wall, who knows? Right, what should we go with next? I've got indigo. So I'm just doing blues to start off with. And I'm not worrying about being perfectly straight. Of course you could if you wanted to, if that's your thing. I just want some squares that I can put my mark making in. So this is just going to be me chatting and painting and doing some mark making. Right, let's go with cobalt teal next. Oh, I just love this colour. It's definitely one of my favourites. And you know, you might decide to go just kind of like miss one, do the next one, miss one, do the next one. I'm just I'm just playing today. So we've had some miserable weather here in the UK. It's been very wet and rainy and overcast and grey, which if you're outside of the UK is probably what you think we have all the time, but we don't actually. Not all the time anyway. And I've been gradually getting all of my Christmas presents sorted. I think I'm just about there, apart from getting something for my husband. And then there's my son's birthday coming up in the middle of December as well. They're the only presents that I've really got left to buy. So I feel like I'm doing quite well on getting my Christmas presents sorted. And I've also bought my turkey crown. So that's a start. I try and get all the Christmas presents done in November so that in December I can purely kind of think about food and what we're going to eat over the kind of Christmas New Year break. Though I'm not sure how much time my husband's got off this year. He's in a slightly different job and we need to find out how much time he's got. I hope it's not just Christmas Day and Boxing Day, but we will see. So here in the UK, our typical Christmas Day lunch would be turkey and maybe cranberry sauce and little sausages wrapped in bacon, what we call pigs in blankets, roast potatoes, roast parsnips, fresh veg, and then typically Christmas pudding, but not everybody in our house likes Christmas pudding, so I normally buy like a cheesecake or a Black Forest gatto or something else anyway. Yeah, let me know what you have as your Christmas Day lunch, if that's a holiday that you celebrate. Right, let's go back up here. And this is the, well, sorry, that was Cobalt Blue Deep. I forgot to say what that one was. Did I say what this one was? Vivid Blue. Getting carried away with my chatting, aren't I? So Turner's Yellow is what we've got next. And, you know, do you play games on Christmas Day, maybe? We sometimes do quizzes. And then we have what I call the Christmas card game. And it's a game where basically if you match your card with the one that's been laid in the middle of the table on the pile, that's been discarded, if you've got a card that matches that, then you get a little present. And they're just little things, they're not anything big. They might be a Terry's chocolate orange, or might be a fancy bar of soap. Just little things, basically. Little notebooks, pens. Yeah, something along those lines. That was quinacridone bronze. Right, let's go with buff titanium, or Titan buff as it's called in Michael Harding paints. Yeah, do you play some little games at Christmas maybe? Oh, and when do you open your presents? We open ours in the morning. What have I got next? I've done those. Let's go with Payne's Grey. So my son and his girlfriend only live a very short distance, kind of up the road, I suppose you'd call it. Within walking distance anyway. And we normally wait for them to arrive. And then me and my husband and my daughter, son and his girlfriend, we will all open our presents. And we used to kind of take it in turns, but these days we just all rip the presents open, basically. What have I got next? I've got Moon Glow next. So how do you open your presents? Taking it in turns, before dinner, after dinner. I still do like a little Christmas stocking for my daughter with autism, because, you know, she's, with her learning difficulties, she's, yeah, I mean, she's 30, but she still likes all of the little kiddie magazines and, you know, Barbie dolls and things like that. So, I still do a Christmas stocking for her. Plus, she's the only one living at home now since my son moved out and lives with his girlfriend, and in the place that they are buying, that they've got a mortgage on. Right, what shall we go with next? Let's go with, I think this is Van Dyke Brown. Let's put you over here. Need a bit more. I'm actually using a different paintbrush today. It was one that I found that I hadn't really used much. It's a Dala Rowney round size 10. Right. What have we got next? We've got Earth of Cyprus, which is a really pretty colour. Where are we going to put you? We'll put you down here. Just add a bit more water to that one. There we go, that's looking nice. It's looking like a checkerboard at the moment, isn't it? Right, what's next? Burnt sienna. I think we will have you here. What's nice with a big piece of paper like this is that hopefully, as I move about, some of them will be drying, and then I can go back and fill in the gaps without having to get the heat gun out. So on the 1st of December, we've got like a felt advent calendar. This is Yellow Ochre Deep, by the way. A felt advent calendar, and that one, where should we put you? Maybe we'll put you here. And it has little pockets in it and a scene above it of the nativity. And each day in December, you take out one of the little felt, it's either like a person, like one of the kings, or it's baby Jesus, or it's a palm tree, or a star, or something like that. And each day and because they've got Velcro on the back, and there's Velcro in places on the scene at the top, you just stick your little person or star or whatever where you like. So that's one of the advent calendars that we've got. And the other one is a wooden advent calendar of a tree, Christmas tree. And there's little hooks on it. And there's a drawer at the bottom. And when you open the drawer, it plays a little tune. And inside are these little ornaments that hang from the hooks. So this one is warm white, and perhaps where should we pop you? Let's pop you here. And so that one's great fun. So my daughter likes to do both of those advent calendars throughout December. And then she has a little like chocolate calendar where there's a little chocolate behind each of the doors when you open it. So she has those, and so she enjoys doing those. So we're getting close to getting the advent calendars out now. It's the 27th of November when I'm doing this, by the way. So yeah, that's all good fun. This is Bright Green Lake. So for me, when the advent calendars come out, that's kind of like Christmas starting. I don't know if you have a certain something that you know, means that Christmas has started for you, but that's mine, getting the advent calendars out and starting to open those. We don't normally put the tree up until the middle of the month, close to my son's birthday usually. Moss green, let's go with moss green next, and let's pop you over here. This is a lovely green, this moss green. It's a real earthy green. There we go. There is our moss green. Right, let's see what colour is next. We've got olive green next. Okay, where are we going to put our olive green? I guess doing this also, maybe we'll put you over here. This is quite, or it can go quite dark, this olive green. I was just thinking to myself, if you can think and talk at the same time, you probably can't, but you know, I might come across some little colour combinations while I'm doing this as well. That would be quite nice. So I might see, for instance, I'm really loving the lavender and the bright green lake together. I'm thinking those two are really rather lovely. Right, that was our olive green. What have we got next? Don't know that I've got enough colours in this palette. Right, let's go with our forest green then. I'm kind of working my way around my palette, kind of. So this is, oh, wrong one. No, that is the right one. Is that the right one? No. Clean my brush. It's this one. Now, I have found, I don't know if any of the rest of you have got forest green, but this one takes quite a bit of activating, and yeah, it's quite hard for me to get enough colour out of it. It's quite, it seems to come out quite pale. Let's keep adding. No, it's not going any darker. Okay, there is our forest green, which is terribly pale. Not one of my favourites. I might swap that out at some point. Right, then we've got Perylene green. And where am I going to pop Perylene green? Maybe, we probably need a green somewhere along here, don't we? Let's pop Perylene green here. So I suppose if I don't have enough colours in this palette, I could get my tubes out and find some colours that aren't in this palette, because I couldn't fit all of my Michael Harding paints into this palette. I had to make a bit of a choice. Right, there is our Perylene green. Right, I think I've done all of that bottom row, all of those. Right, we've got some pinky reddy ones to do. So this is Scarlet Lake. And I'm going to pop Scarlet Lake in there. I was trying to be as careful as I could, but I haven't been able to. Some of that is the angle and fitting everything in to the camera. Right, there is our Scarlet Lake. Then I've got Quinacridone Coral. And I'm going to pop you here. There we go, there is our Quinacridone Coral. Then we've got the Opera Pink. Where shall I put you? Here. There is our Opera Pink. Right, now I've run out. How many more do I need? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 11 more. Right, let's see if I can find 11 more. Let's see what tubes I've got. Okay, I've managed to find 10 more tubes. So let me move this out of the way. I think that'll leave me with one that I'm missing, so I'll probably have to mix a colour. So we've got New Gamboge. Where am I going to pop you? Let's pop you there. There we go. There's New Gamboge. We've got Belladonna. I think I'm going to pop you there. Oh, I'd forgotten how lovely that was. Haven't got that in my palette. I might have to change that Green Forest for Belladonna. What else have we got? Neutral Tint. You can go up here. This will all make sense when I start doing my mark making. And I'm going to do my mark making using various different materials. So I'm sure some of you might have noticed that some of these are really dark, and just using a black fine liner to do the mark making is not going to work. Right, we've actually got Vine Black. Where am I going to put you? Let's put you up there. This is very relaxing and very nice. Anyway, where was I? Talk about Christmas, wasn't I? Yeah. I know that Christmas can sometimes be a bit difficult for some, especially when perhaps we've got people that we loved that are no longer here and that we are missing. Raw Umber. Oh, that one squidged out a bit more than I was hoping it would. I'm hoping that, once I get my mark making on here, this is going to look rather nice. And it's also a really good reference for me for all of my Michael Harding paint. There we go, there's our raw umber. Now we've got Phthalo Blue Lake. Where am I going to put you? And probably not too much of you. There we go. Put you there. This might help me work out what colours I want to put in a new palette that's coming soon. It's coming tomorrow. And I can't wait to share it with you. It's a palette and sketchbook inside sort of a leather-ish, not real leather, cover. And I'm hoping it's going to be good fun. Right, we have got Blue Verditer. Oh, that one's tough. There we go. Up here, I think. So, I'm wondering, is there anything special that you do to, that, is just your kind of special family thing that you do at Christmas? Be nice to have some comments, and maybe it will give some of us some ideas for this Christmas. Then we've got Cosmic Blue. I think we'll put you there. I wonder if any of you have done this with your paints. Ooh, Cosmic Blue. Probably do with watering down a bit. That's better. This is just a really nice, relaxing thing to do. Cosmic Blue. Now, at the minute, it's probably looking a bit black on the screen, but everything dries lighter. So then I've got Red Ochre of France. Oh, and I think I'm going to pop you here. Ooh, that's got a bit of binder. Let me just pick that up. Ooh, it's doing it again. Tissue. Maybe this is why I didn't put this on my palette. I'm just going to wipe that off a bit. And I'm just going to... There we go. Squeeze until I get some paint. There we go. So Red Ochre of France. That's that one. And then we've got something called Purple Haze. So that was Moonlight. So let's put... Oh, I'm going to need my cloth so it doesn't hurt my hands. There we go. So we won't put it there. We'll put it over here. Purple Haze. Oh, on you go. There we are. I think the Moonlight and the Purple Haze are quite similar, although this one looks to be... No, I think they are quite similar. And I think they're, although there might be a bit more purple in this one, they're a little bit like Moon Glow. Right, I have one square and I need to maybe mix a colour. So let's go with mixing. Let's mix the quinacridone coral and the warm white, and then we've got this pale pink colour. There we go. Right, we have got our 35 squares, which is actually 34 colours. 34 Michael Harding colours, which I think is looking rather lovely, but I'm going to dry it off first and then we can start doing some mark making. Okay, I think that's dry now. Well, actually no, I can see there's a couple of bits there that aren't quite dry, so we'll just test. No, nothing's coming off on the tissue. Right, so are there any colour combinations, first of all, that have been something that I wouldn't normally do? And, you know, because I was just kind of doing this willy-nilly. I really do love the lavender and the bright green lake. I like the quinacridone coral and the cobalt teal. I also like the cobalt teal with the opera rose. I like the quinacridone bronze and cobalt blue, vivid blue, and which green was this? Olive green. Vivid blue and olive green, together with red earth of Cyprus. I like those. Are there others that I like together? I quite like these three together. So this was the New Gamboge and the moss green and the phthalo blue. I like those three together. I quite like these three together going across. So that was the raw umber, buff titanium. That's ultramarine blue. Is that the cobalt blue? No, that's the cobalt blue. What blue was that one? That must have been a different blue. I think that the blue verditer? Blue verditer. Tell a lie. That one's blue verditer. So that's, yeah, I should have said blue verditer with the quinacridone bronze. And I think the only one that I'm a bit disappointed with is this forest green. But there we go. There is that. Right, let's find some things to do some mark making with then. So, we will get a couple of fine liners out. We will get a gold and a white gel pen. I think we will also try our Chinese white drawing pencil and even pale cedar. I'm trying to pick the pale colours that would go over the top of some of the darker ones. Even this light sienna. Now let's try picking, what's this? Delft blue. Oh, this one. Distant green. Okay, so we've got a few pencils there. Then let's even get some neo colours out. Oh, let's try periwinkle blue. Periwinkle blue and salmon pink and Sahara yellow. And let's go with something a bit darker, like sepia. Okay, so we've got a few tools to use. So, which one shall we use on there? Let's try the sepia on there. And my mark making is going to be these circles. And we can try and vary our size a bit more, maybe. There we go. So we've got some little circles as what our first mark making. Right, let's move on to the bright green lake. And what should we use for that? Maybe we will go with one of our fine liners. And I'm going to be doing these zigzaggy effects. There we go. There is our second one. Right, let's move on. And what should we have with that yellow? Let's go with the Delft Blue pencil. And we're having our lines all going in the same direction. Like so. Now I'm going to need something that's going to show up on this dark colour. Well, let's try the Sahara yellow, shall we? That works. Okay, that's our next one. Oh, this is such fun. Right, what should we go with? Maybe we'll go back to our fine liner. And this time we're going to do undulating ones. Like that. Ooh, next. Right, broken lines. And I think, shall we try the white, Chinese white? So I'm just doing a variation on some broken lines. There we go. Ooh, next. But I don't know if it's going to work, but let's try the salmon pink. Yes, it works. And now we can see it's kind of starting to look a little bit like a quilt, isn't it? Maybe we'll go with our purple next. Lovely, love it. Let's go with gold pen. Go with gold pen. And we're basically going to do lots of tiny squiggles. There we are. Hopefully, if I tilt that a bit, yes, you can see that. Okay, what's next? Let's do what colour? Let's go with this, which is the pale cedar, and we're going to do these lines that are going up and down like so. Is that showing up? Oh, only just. It shows up better in real life. Okay, what have we got next? Next, let's go with our Sahara yellow. And we're going to have our curvy ones going across. Let's go with white. And what have I got next? Oh, yes. So it's like we're drawing lots of little flowers that are all bundled together. So I'm basically drawing that shape, but I'm joining them together. There we go. So that's that one. Next. What colour have we got? We've got this. So let's go with our distant green and see what happens. There we are. Right, next one. Oh, isn't this such fun? Right, I think I'm going to go with the purple again. And there we are. We've got those lines going on. Next. Going to need a paler colour. Maybe we'll stick with the white. Let's stick with the white. And swirls this time. Okay. Oh, I think this is beginning to look rather lovely. Let's go back with our Delft blue then. And we're actually going to join these so that they kind of make some almost diamond shapes. There we go. I've got another dark colour. I wonder if the gold will show up on the dark colour. Let's see. And then we're gonna There we go. Next, let's use you. Wrong way. There. Right, something quite simple next. Dots. Okay, that's our dot. Right, let's go back to our yellow or white. Let's try the yellow. Great for doing little bushy shapes. Okay. Let's go with pale cedar and see what happens anyway. Oh no, it kind of works. There we go. Next. Where am I here? Tried really hard to come up with as many different mark making things as I could. It wasn't easy. We could do with a darker colour. Let's go with our Delft blue again. Right. So this is kind of a mixture. Get our lines in there of our lines going that way and then lines going that way, which is rather nice. Okay. Well, let's try the salmon pink on this and see what happens. Oh, actually, we can see it. Right, now for a bit more kind of typical cross hatching, I suppose. Like that. Let's go with our brown now. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do a bit more to it. I started off going diagonally and then went across and up and down. Right, next is just marks that we might want to use for our grasses, which is rather nice. What else have we got here? Oh yes. Oh, let's use this pink on this one. I think it's going to work well. And it does. There we go. So it was just doing some ziggy-zaggies. What else have we got? What haven't I done? Right, so something that's a bit finer. 0.3. So we've got those. Now let's do... those. Right, next. What have I missed? Done that one, done that one, done that one. Ah, okay. Now I've done those two. Right, yes, I can see what I need to do next. Okay. Let's take our white gel pen and get a kind of an outline going on for maybe a, you know, a grassy patch where we want to show that the grasses are going in different directions, basically. There we go. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. What have I missed? Ah, well, let's do some of these. Where are we? What colour do we want here? Let's go with the brown then. And I'm going to do... I'm going to do that. Next, let's go with... I maybe counted wrong, but it's okay. We'll come up with something. Let's maybe use the light sienna this time. And then we can put some cross hatching to show some darker bits. Like so. There's maybe some little stones or something where we're, you know, shading in, probably. Yep. Okay. Next. Well, I think we should go with... Should we try the gold on this? Let's try the gold. And although this might not show that well. Right, and we want a... in the middle, so to speak. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a little spider's web design, basically. Not sure that colour came out that well. Let's go with distant green for here. And maybe what we'll do this time is well, let's just do some kind of different flowery shapes that might be quite useful. Oh, is that showing up? They could be stars. It's only just showing up. And then finally, let's go back to our black. And let's do petal shapes. Is that we've got something else going on. Right. To be fair, I wouldn't really call this, well, I suppose you can call it mark making. It's just going to give us some ideas, really. And perhaps we need to just add a couple of leaves in there. Right, well, here we go. Now that it's finished, I think that is rather splendid. Right, well, I hope that you have fun. I'm going to use this as a reference for all of my Michael Harding paints, and it also means I've got a few ideas for when I want to do some mark making in the future. Okay, take care, everybody. Thanks so much for being here with me. See you again another time.